Hello and welcome to the Fish Out of Water podcast. You're here with me, Matheaus, Isaac, and our newest member, Alex. Today, we're going to break down these crazy playoff games. There were 4 of them. We're going to start with the NFC and finish on the AFC. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, sorry we haven't been posting. It's been 6 months overdue. But after adjusting to college and stuff, I think Matt and I, and now Alex, have found it comfortable now in our schedules to consistently produce podcasts, hopefully for the foreseeable future. This time we're going to be talking about football, but we're also eventually going to be talking about the NBA. So yeah, let's just get started. So I think it's arguable, and many people might claim that this weekend might have been the greatest weekend of football in NFL history. It's so incredible that Titans Bengals was a very mid sort of game, considering everything else. So let's start off with the first crazy game in the NFC side with Packers Niners. Wow, what an upset. Aaron Rodgers' future is on the line here. Didn't show up. Special teams didn't show up. Yeah, let's first talk about the Niners offense and how they match up on the Packers defense. Yeah.
All right, Niners offense. I mean, let's be real, it's non-existent. I think it's the first time in divisional history that a team has had 0 offensive touchdowns and won a playoff game, especially at Lambeau Field on the road against the 1 seed. I don't know if that reflects
Aaron Rodgers, man.
I don't know if that reflects badly on Rodgers or badly on the defense. I mean, well, okay, we got to acknowledge the fact the Packers defense played as good as they could have played. Like, the first half, that Niners offense was completely non-existent. Like, they couldn't get first downs. They weren't even running the ball effectively. Jimmy G came out in Jimmy G fashion, throwing that terrible pick before the half. And even in the second half, like, the ball wasn't moving. And you can blame who you want, but this game came down to special teams at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's unbelievable that happened, though. I think Alex said it the best. Like, dude, someone always screws it up for Rodgers.
Facts. No, but I will say, bro, like, I'm obviously like an Aaron Rodgers, like, I'd say a supporter, but like Aaron Rodgers got to play better in that game. Like, no matter what, if you're the best quarterback in the league, as like in my opinion, you got to play better in that game. And like, not to say he's been like awful, but he hasn't been great in the past 2 games. He's played the Niners, which is this year in the divisional round, and 2 years ago in that NFC Championship. Like, if you're the best player in the league, no matter how bad your team sells it, like, Rodgers got to pull through in that game. Like, no matter, like, even though he has like no weapons, they can't get a run game going. Like, bro, like, he has to play better. Although, like, the Packers defense for once actually like somewhat showed up.
yeah,
Like, they were actually like,
Oh yeah,
they actually showed up.
Yeah, not that it's hard to cover, or like not that it's hard against Jimmy G. Oh my God, is it like, I think Jimmy G right now is maybe like 25th on starting quarterbacks.
Nah, Jimmy G has like that it factor, and I don't know what it is. It might be a little bit of just being a good leader or being like mature, but Jimmy somehow wins these games, and we kind of have to acknowledge that. It's just,
dude, to me, that game was winning in spite of Jimmy G.
Maybe. I mean, I think it points to Kyle Shanahan's glory, to be honest. Like, just being able to make almost no mistakes that whole game and just get a couple lucky plays. But I agree with Alex. I mean, the thing with Rodgers is I just feel like he plays too conservative at times. Like, he has this whole thing where it's like his touchdown to interception ratio is always good. But sometimes, like, you got to be able to make those throws to end the game, and you got to go to someone other than Devontae. Like, I feel like he doesn't trust anyone on the team, which is part of the reason why I think he needs a fresh start. But we can save that for later.
Here's my thing, though. Like Rodgers wasn't good at all, actually. I would say it was a below average performance by his standards. But like we do have to consider who he's throwing to. You know, like
he didn't have MVS, so it was what, Alan Lazard, and
I don't even know the third receiver on the team.
St. Brown. It's St. Brown.
Oh, isn't it Randall Cobb? Randall Cobb.
Bro, all I'm saying is like this wouldn't even be an issue if like the Packers didn't like waste so many draft picks on on freaking Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Like they took Jordan Love instead of like who was in that draft? Like T.
Higgins.
Who else?
Like a Van Jefferson, Claypool.
So yeah, they traded down, and who's at 25 where they trade down, that's when Ayuk got picked too. So it's like they spend a pick on a receiver that would help a lot. And the thing with Rodgers is like, yeah, like I agree with Matt saying like, yeah, he does play conservative, but he kind of had to that game because like they were all in a position like if like that was like honestly like he should have played conservative because they were up 10-3. It was a defensive game, so he should have played conservative and not try to lost the game because the Niners were not going to score against that Packers defense. So I see why they were playing conservative. And if that block touchdown doesn't happen, the Packers are winning that game. So I get why he was playing conservative. So I don't really bag on him for playing conservative that game.
You're 100% right. And to add on to that, Rodgers didn't lose the game. Like he's taking the heat for everything, but he didn't lose the game at all. Like that game's won if they make a field goal.
Yeah.
Or if they
I wouldn't say he won. I wouldn't say he won the game either.
No, but he didn't lose it.
Yeah.
No, but if you're the best quarterback in the league, you gotta come through.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. So he deserves the front of the blame. So and that's just coming from someone who loves Rodgers.
Going into the year, or I guess like towards the middle of the year, I was pretty set on Rodgers being the best QB in the league.
I still think he is.
I think that's in question now. Like I was pretty certain that he was, but considering what we saw in the playoffs, I think I just think Mahomes and Allen can do more than he can.
I wouldn't. I mean, okay, maybe they can do more, but when you look at Rodgers as a pure arm talent and quarterback, if I were to take a team who just needs a quarterback to win a championship, I'm taking Rodgers over every quarterback in the league.
I would too.
I just think what he needs a fresh start. Like, I don't know if he'll get one, but like where he's at right now, everything is just chaotic. Like I feel like with the fans, the coaches, the players, like especially playing in Lambeau too, I think he just needs to move on. So, I mean, if I want to change the subject, what do you guys think is going to happen or what he should do?
I mean, I think we talked about this before. It's on your freaking home screen, you homer.
Yeah.
I do think the best spot for him is probably the Broncos.
Hey, come on, let's hear it.
In today's league, I think something that's pretty clear now is how important receivers are. You can't win a title if you don't have an elite receiving crew in today's league. Obviously, like times have changed, and when I look at the best receiving core without a quarterback right now, I would say it's probably the Denver Broncos. You got a possession receiver, an excellent route runner, Jerry Jeudy. You got a contested catch guy in Cortland Sutton, a deep threat, and what's the other guy?
Hamler and Tim Patrick.
KJ Hamler. No offense.
Tim Patrick is so underrated. Like a little bit off topic. I think he might be better than Cortland, even though he doesn't quite get the credit. But sorry, keep going.
Cortland was off an ACL though.
So. That's true. He started playing better at the end of the year.
Cortland Sutton's season before he tore his ACL, Cortland Sutton was on pace to be like a top receiver. That year he had with a horrendous quarterback room was like Cortland Sutton was coming up and then he tore his ACL. So, and he missed that whole season. So I still think Cortland Sutton like could still be like the Broncos' number one receiver.
Also,
if you give him some time.
I think that was Drew Lock too that year.
And
I think it was Joe Flacco.
Oh, no, maybe I think it was Drew Lock though.
No, you're right. Drew
It was
Lock
Joe
starting
Flacco.
season. Yeah, there was the torn ACL. So it was the year
Yeah.
before that. So it was the Flacco season.
Drew Lock played the last like 4 games, and everyone went crazy over Drew Lock.
We don't have to talk about that, man.
Bro, Drew Lock is horrendous. Like,
Oh, he's so bad. You don't understand.
That's remarkable.
You know, Drew Lock, we were 7-6 this year. Drew Lock, Teddy goes down. We went 0-4 with Drew Lock.
Sounds about right. I mean,
yeah.
Also,
like this hype for him because he worked out with Peyton Manning or something.
Like, come on, bro.
Nah, yeah, I gave up on him, man. He hurt me really bad. But also, Denver has Noah Fant too, who's like an athletic tight end, and Javonte.
Oh yeah, Noah Fant's great.
You know how I feel about Javonte too. But what I liked about this fit for Rodgers is that it's kind of similar to what he knows, because Judy's one of those route runner type receivers that can parallel Javonte as a play style, not yet as a player. And I feel Javonte is a power runner like Aaron Jones. So I think Rodgers would actually walk in pretty comfortably, especially if Denver hires Hackett, which it looks like he's the favorite right now. So,
yeah.
I think by hiring that guy, the QB coach for the Packers.
He's the offensive coordinator.
Oh, he's the OC? I thought he was a QB coach.
Yeah, rumor has it if he gets hired, the QB coach, I forgot his name, is going to be the OC. And Hackett would become the head.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that's a clear signal of, Rodgers. We're waiting,
Yeah,
we also got to see what the Broncos give up, Like, is it going to be 3 first-rounders? Is it going to be, like, what is it, Because Rodgers is, like, a lot of money on the books, too. So
we got 48 million cap space now, which is crazy. Our problem, though, is it's just I don't want to give up too many pieces because we have money. So I wouldn't mind giving up all the picks. But also, I'm not sure Green Bay's willing to trade him because LaFleur said this morning that they all want to have him back. And, we all know Rodgers is a diva. So,
Yeah.
I mean, with the Broncos, it's like, in terms of like giving up assets, I don't think Rodgers' market is as big as like people think. Like, I think like no one really wants a 38-year-old quarterback and like someone who like, not saying like he's like a problem, but like, it's a lot to like bring in Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's a lot to bring him to your organization. That's a lot of work. And like, I don't think the market for him is going to be that big because I don't see really any other teams like making a run at him. So I think like at most it's going to be like 2-3 first-round picks because I think the only other team that can really like make a run at him is probably like, I don't know, like
Steelers,
Browns, like
The
Philly,
Minnesota?
maybe like the Redskins, maybe like these. I don't see Rodgers.
Hey, it's not. Don't say that out here, bro. We're not trying to be conscious. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
What about the Steelers?
Yeah, the Steelers.
You guys have no money though.
Yeah, that's the main issue, and like also like Rodgers has always played like with a great O-line. The Steelers would just not work, and I already know we're gonna go in some dumb direction and probably draft like Kenny Pickett in the first round, and it's gonna drive me nuts. But I wish we got Rodgers, but I just highly doubt it because like, we got Tua up, we have Minka Fitzpatrick up. Of course, Big Ben's contract is coming off the books, but we still got like players to pay. So it's gonna be tough. Like,
thing is, like
defensively,
I wouldn't think it's a ridiculous place to go though. Like, I think Pittsburgh, outside of Denver, they're probably the second best receiving core without a quarterback right now.
I agree with that. Receiving core. But I think what we're saying too is the money is the issue because the Steelers have to give up guys with contracts. So, I mean, and so they would physically have to give up players.
No, we'd pretty much have to let Minka walk.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, we gave up a first-round pick for him like 2 years ago. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean,
and give up future draft picks when we have to rebuild half a roster because it's an aging roster and our O-line still needs to get rebuilt. Like, and we wasted a first-round pick on a running back last year.
Oh my God. Yo,
bro, I'm still
was a
on
fantasy
that,
god.
Najee Harris was not a good pick.
That was a terrible pick, man.
It was a terrible pick, bro.
Yeah.
I can rant. Dude, the running back on Matt's team, Javonte Williams, is better than Najee Harris. And that's a fact. And I'm a Steelers fan saying that. This man, Najee Harris.
I'm pretty set on that, too.
Flip this.
bro, like, dude, Najee Harris, bro, like, he's a solid running back, but like, he's just not special. Like, when you draft a running back in the first round, he has to be special. This man breaks a lot of tackles, and he's just not explosive. Every time he breaks a tackle, he goes like 1 yard after. Like, he can't create big plays, and like, I guess he fits our team, like the way we played this year, this like ground and pound offense, but that's not the team like you want to like in today's NFL offense. You want like an offense that's explosive, not this like dumb offense that we ran this year where you saw in the Chiefs game, we can't score unless he's on defense. Like, it's ridiculous.
We always talk about it, but running backs they're a dying breed. And the only time you should reach for running back is you're getting a generational talent. It's like a center in the NBA. Like, I don't think it's smart to ever reach for a running back because they usually have a 4-year window before they become like Zeke. They just
Zeke sucks.
Or Gurley or something.
Wait. This is an interesting question. So, what do you guys think about Rodgers on the Niners?
It's not happening.
Like, would you not like if you're the Packers, right? Or let's say you're the Niners, right? Would you be willing to give up Trey Lance for Aaron Rodgers?
Of course, but I don't think the Packers would want just Trey Lance.
I don't know what their money looks like either, but I know they're older roster for sure too.
It's just not possible for that to happen because they already gave up all their picks for Trey Lance, and the Packers would have to love Trey Lance, but they already have Jordan Love, so like there's just no way it like works out.
The only thing with that is the Packers have basically publicly admitted that Jordan Love's a whiff because of how hard they want Rodgers. The thing is, I want to see how the Niners feel about Trey Lance because if they move Jimmy G this offseason fast, then we know they like him. But if they're like skeptical about it, we know that like Trey might not be the guy.
No, Jimmy's gone. Jimmy's 100% gone.
That's
because
what
if you give up 3 first-round picks, if you give up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance, he has to play year 2. There's no way. Like, Jimmy G's gone after this. If they can win the Super Bowl, if Jimmy G wins the Super Bowl,
it's also about winning. It's also about winning, bro.
And but you remember the Chiefs? They had Alex Smith the last year with Mahomes, and they were playing good too. But they just brought in Mahomes, or they drafted him anyways, and moved Alex Smith out the window when he was still playing pretty well. Like, if a team likes you and they see you in practice, they'll move you.
Yeah, but 3 first-round picks—that is a ransom, and like Trey Lance is playing next year. Like 100%. There's no shot he's not playing. Otherwise, the Niners just sold their whole future. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So and they don't have much room. They're old.
Yeah. And
I mean, I don't think the Niners are old. I don't say
they're not old, but
they have some older players, especially on the defensive end.
They're struggling in the secondary for sure.
But they're
that front seven.
Is it? Okay, let's talk about the Niners defense. That front seven, is that the best in football?
No, not for me. I'm taking 2 teams over them right now. I'm taking Tampa and I'm taking the Rams.
You're still taking Tampa?
I'm still taking Tampa because their front seven's not the problem. They just have the most garbage can secondary I've ever seen. And also Todd Bowles needs to stop blitzing when there's
We'll talk about this later, but man, they couldn't get any pressure on Stafford. You know?
True, but that Rams offense was
without the starting left tackle too for the Rams.
Sure, no Whitworth. Actually, I guess we can just segue into that game if you want.
I mean, maybe. Well, let's talk a little bit more about Niners Packers. I mean, for this segment, we mainly talked about Rodgers leaving. I think that's the thing that everyone's really concerned about. But I don't know, like, if you're Rodgers, like, would you not consider staying either? Because, you know, you kind of lost to a fluky punt block.
I think there's a chance he stays out of like. So okay, what we know is
like,
Rodgers.
How good? Like, when you leave a team, like, how are you, like, who else is gonna be as good as Davante Adams?
True. So he said he didn't want to be part of a rebuild. So it's really possible that he felt disrespected and he wanted to throw a fit to get respect. And because Jordan Love's not it, we know the Packers are desperate to keep him. So maybe that's what he wants. So he might stay. But at the same time, my eye test is telling me he just needs a restart. Like, it's just been so many shortcomings that it doesn't feel right anymore. Like, I don't think he'll ever reach a Super Bowl in Green Bay.
I think there's a shot he stays. I actually think there's somewhat of a serious shot because I don't think the market is that big for Aaron Rodgers, although he's the best quarterback in the league because of course he's 38. You have to take in that contract, and he's somewhat of a head case. Not saying it's a bad thing, but like he's somewhat like of a problem, I guess. And I saw something today that like he said he's gonna make his decision during like the time of when the franchise tags go around. And like that's pretty big because I'm pretty sure if Devontae Adams gets franchised, which I think he is, there's a shot Aaron Rodgers comes back for like one more season because I don't think the market is that open for him, and there just probably be better options maybe next year, So I think there's actually a serious shot that he stays for at least one more year though.
I can see that. He has the no trade clause as well though. So even though the market may not big, Rodgers would still have the say on where he goes. So that could play a factor too.
Yeah, and I just wouldn't go to like any other teams besides the Broncos. Like Philly, Washington, like I don't see any other team really making a run. Like I thought like the Saints low-key had like a sneaky shot, but you also had, like
Sean Payton's out.
Sean Payton stepped down. I thought like he would have been a great fit with the Saints because you got Michael Thomas coming back, Alvin Kamara, good O-line. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, the Saints are broke, but like they probably could have figured a way out. I mean,
see, my instinct is telling me that it's going to be Denver too, because we had 30-something mil in cap space. We didn't spend it for over 12 months, and now it's 48. Like it just, I mean, you could argue to me maybe they're going for a Deshaun or Wilson instead, but it's like you said, I don't think there's a better fit. Like it just makes sense. But I definitely think there's a real shot he stays. I would say he stays or he goes to Denver. I don't think he's going anywhere else.
Yeah. Unless if maybe like I don't.
What about Tennessee?
No, they invested too much in Tannehill already. There's one team that I think should make a run, but I don't think they will because what they did last year, which is the Colts. And but they spent their first round pick this year on Carson Wentz last year, which I already thought was
I don't think
move.
It's a first round pick though. I think it's a first round pick if they make the playoffs.
And no, it was a first round pick if Wentz played 80% of the snaps, which he did. So it's a first round pick for the Eagles from that trade.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think Colts would have been a great fit.
I'm with you. I think it'd be a good fit, but they got to roll with Wentz because Wentz wasn't that bad this year. They got to give him at least another year. Just tighten it up. Let the receivers, Michael Pittman grow, Jonathan Taylor grow. Because the truth is, the Colts got screwed by their O-line. All 5 linemen got hurt for the last 3 games. Like that's unheard of. And
you can't lose to the Jaguars. Like I don't care how bad you are, you can't lose to the Jaguars.
To make the playoffs, that was.
What was interesting to me was, like, I didn't think they were shooting themselves in the foot against the Jaguars. I just feel like the Jaguars outplayed them.
Yeah, but Wentz was also terrible. Like he was.
And that's the thing with Wentz, though.
Like the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, that's like the thing with Wentz, though. He has these sort of games, Yeah.
He has like incredible games, and he also just has.
I wouldn't even say he has incredible games.
No, he has incredible plays. Like he is. I think maybe 5 times this year because I watched a lot of Colts games. He made these like ridiculous throws or touchdowns just running off the play action that would like seal games or just close out the games. But
like
I'm not a big Wentz
everything. Guy. Like I don't know if Wentz is worth it, considering all the mistakes he makes, fumbling issues. And just his overall upside doesn't like if Josh Allen makes a mistake, like we're cool with it, we know what he can bring. But at this point of his career, I just don't think Wentz is worth all that trouble.
Yeah.
Everything has
I see Wentz as like this might be I see him as like a slightly better Sam Darnold. Like I don't think he's that good, to be honest. Like
He's much better than Sam Darnold.
I would say he's better than Sam Darnold too. Sam Darnold is awful.
Yeah, but like, you got to realize Wentz, like, he's supposed to be this talented quarterback, but he never makes the throws because the offensive coordinator thinks he's like, going to throw the game. Like, so like he's supposed to be this like quarterback that throws the ball down the field, but they don't do that. So what ends up happening, they have him as a game manager, but he doesn't fit the type to be a game manager because he makes so many mistakes. So it's like, I don't think like Wentz's talent kind of says like he's like pretty like solid, but like I don't think he's all that. Like I thought it was a terrible.
He just doesn't seem like the player that can win you Super Bowl, And like when you think of quarterbacks that win a Super Bowl, you either look for a game manager, the GOAT is a game manager, or you look at a guy like Mahomes and Allen.
Okay, Brady's not no game manager, bro.
Yeah, that's
okay. I'm exaggerating that, but
you mean like a smart, high IQ player?
High IQ, smart, pocket present player.
I mean, we should also acknowledge the fact, though, in today's like NFL, there's the best quarterbacks are all in the playoffs competing. Like the only team you might want to say is the Niners because Jimmy's not all that. But
what I think it is actually the best teams in the playoffs have the best receivers.
No, what I'm saying is there's no team in the playoffs with a bad quarterback unless you want to say the Niners. When you look at the whole playoffs, all the teams with the top QBs made it. That's how the game has changed. You need QBs, you need receivers to make these plays. And
I don't know, man. I think QB. I mean, at the end of the day, like I know Kyle Shanahan is like a once in a generation type of coach. Deebo Samuel is generational too. George Kittle, but like. I think you can get away with having below average quarterback play.
No.
I think so.
Absolutely not. You must have an elite roster if
the Niners almost did it. The Niners almost did it.
Yeah, because the roster's absolutely loaded.
Yeah,
and they might do it
secondary,
this weekend.
They have they're elite everywhere.
But I'd also say that Jimmy's probably a top 15 quarterback still.
Not 50.
I'd say he's around
maybe
20 to 25.
Well, let's look at the QBs who made the playoffs. What you got? Rodgers, Brady, Stafford,
Burrow,
Derek Carr, Mahomes, Josh Allen. Like they're the QBs you'd expect to be there.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about how great Denver's roster is, but we went 7-10 because our quarterbacks were terrible. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like
I don't know.
I think you don't need elite quarterback play, but you need at least pretty good. Like if you have a pretty good QB play, you need like a crazy roster like the Niners did 2 years ago.
Bro, Jimmy G was not pretty good, man.
Yeah, he was.
No,
2 years ago he was pretty good.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty, dude. Jimmy G actually especially in that Rams game week 18 to send them in the playoffs.
I couldn't believe what I was watching that game, bro.
He makes plays at the end of the games. Like he legit has he at times he can make like pretty like great plays at the end of the games. Like you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah, I don't know. Bro, but Jimmy G, I swear to God, he can only throw one ball, and it's just when George Kittle or Deebo Samuel just run a post-in route, and that's the only route he can throw to. He can't throw it at the outside or down the sideline.
Classic play-action play. It's all the Colts do. It's just Jonathan Taylor and then a little post-slant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
It's not as bad as the Steelers' offense.
The Steelers' offense is a short slant, and then Najee for 2 yards 4 times.
And then Deontay Johnson.
And then chuck it up to Chase Claypool on the sideline 1 every 5 plays.
And then Chase
50 shy gets intercepted.
Yeah.
Anyways, we should move on to the next game because that's
okay. I mean, yeah. So Niners Packers, we didn't really talk much about the game. We mainly talked about Rodgers and where he's gonna end up, but I think it's safe to say like all we can really come up with this is like fluky special teams kind of thing,
Just a weird game to be honest. Like to me, I thought it was like kind of a weird game.
It was really
I was not expecting that to happen.
No, I don't think anyone did.
I definitely think the weather played a big factor too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anyways.
Yeah. Now let's go to the even crazier game. Bucks, Rams. Wow. Well, first thing I want to say about this, I think it's pretty clear who the better team was from just the first 2.5 quarters. I thought the Rams dominated, and at their best, we see how good they can be. You have this elite pass rush. Matt Stafford at his best with these receivers. It's at minimum a top 3 offense.
Yeah, I guess.
It's close.
It's debatable.
I don't know.
It's debatable.
I just thought that what the Rams did against the Bucks was probably, I thought they had the most impressive showing as a team this weekend.
Here's what I'll say about the Rams. I noticed it right away against the Cardinals. They are loaded at the pass rush position. Like, that is not fair at all. Von Miller just went 2015 Vaughn. I swear during the Tampa game, he hit Brady every play. He cut his lip. He strip sacked him. He was wreaking havoc. You have Aaron Donald at the middle. Like, if you get in a position like Brady did where you have to throw the ball or throw your way into a game, you can't beat this Rams team. And offensively, we know what they bring with guys like, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson. Now we have Odell, Stafford. But what I've always said about the Rams is they will lay eggs. They will lay eggs all over the place. And my worry with them is they're going to lay an egg so big that they're not going to come over it. And we watched it in this game. They got to this big lead, and you got Cam Akers fumble. You got Cam Akers fumble again. You have Stafford almost fumble. You have the center throwing it over Stafford's head. Like,
yeah,
it was the most unreal thing I've ever seen. And you can't do that against Brady, because no matter how much Brady's up against the wall with no linemen and no support, Brady threw him right back in the game. And if it wasn't for Stafford absolutely proving himself, finally, I mean, I'd say Tampa would probably win the overtime.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Like, the Rams fumbled the ball 4 times, and they still won the game against Tom Brady. That's why I think it's very impressive.
I do think the Rams were pretty impressive, but I saw that last fourth quarter as somewhat concerning. Like, that was a major, major collapse. Like, that would have been like one of the biggest collapses in playoffs history if Cooper Kupp doesn't. Yeah, if Cooper Kupp doesn't like pretty much, it was damn near a blown coverage down the field. Like the amount of things, like the thing is, like, the Rams just like totally collapsed. Like, I don't know, like it was like unbelievable to see, because like Matt didn't even bring up like the Mike Evans play that was 77 yards. Like, Jalen Ramsey like getting like giving up a 77-yard touch. Like, he didn't bring up that up. Like, it was just like mishap after mishap after mishap.
How often?
Throw,
my question is, like, all these things are happening against the Rams. Literally the worst case scenarios.
They always do this, though. That's what I've always said about the Rams. I can't explain it, but I mean, Alex hit it on the head. That's just it's concerning, and I think you should be concerned as a Rams fan. But
do you really think that kind of collapse will happen again?
No, but
and the thing is, we did it against the Bucks, and we still pulled it off. The Rams still pull it off. That's what my point is.
I'm going to defend the Bucks a little bit. We got to acknowledge the fact that, yes, they're missing 2 of their most important linemen in Wirfs and Ryan Jensen.
Ryan Jensen was in the game, man.
Yeah, but he was limited in snaps, and he clearly wasn't his full self, at least. But anyways, Brady was dealing with that. He had no receivers, as we talked about. I think there were 2 receivers who didn't play, AB and Godwin, so 4 total.
And Rashad Perriman too wasn't there.
Yeah. So I mean, that to me was just Brady just goating. Like, that was a full display of just what he does.
To be honest, I wouldn't.
To be fair, he was missing throws. Like, I don't think it's Brady who got them in the game, to be honest.
Well, it's the Rams, but capitalizing on mistakes is important. But I want to rant about this guy named Todd Bowles. People love him as a defensive coordinator. We all know he loves the blitz, but I don't care how much you love a blitz. I don't understand how, with 40 seconds left, Cooper Kupp gets a 20-yard catch on the sideline. You don't even keep him in bounds. then you come up with no timeouts and you blitz, you rush 5.5 kind of, and you leave the safety single high by himself with Cooper Kupp. And the safety bites too, like he wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you blitz there, because even if you contain, worst case scenario, it's a 55-yard field goal. Like, instead you let him get to the 10. Like, I just don't understand the play call. And nobody in the media, everyone's defending him for it. That was terrible. Like, I just don't understand. I don't care how much you love the blitz. I would never put that stress on my terrible secondary.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't. I don't know what he was thinking. Like,
I mean, to be fair, if you lose, you want to lose like the way you the defensive way you've always played. You know what I mean? Like, that's how
it sounds like ego, though.
Yeah,
Also,
it does. Like, in hindsight, like, yeah, he probably should have not played so aggressive, but like, that's how he always been, and that's how he's won before. Like, he won basically this. Like, he won last year's Super Bowl playing that way, like all throughout the postseason last year. So it's like, I kind of get why he did it, but is it probably the best to play that aggressive in that situation? Probably not. But I also I think he had a mindset where, like, since the Rams already like had so many mishaps, can he create another turnover so they can possibly have a chance to win the game, which is why he played so aggressive. Because also, you got to realize Matt Gay was short on a 47-yard field goal.
Yeah.
The Rams would have to go all the way down to probably like the 25-yard line to even hit a field goal. So like, I understand why Bowles was thinking that. Maybe we can grade a turnover because they turned it over like 3 times in the fourth quarter. And the kicker has a small leg. So the Rams would have to drive all the way down to like the 25. So like, I kind of get why Bowles went that aggressive.
But even
I feel like that's
if
more
we wanted to blitz, it wasn't the right type of blitz, because the corner who was guarding Cooper Kupp ended up blitzing. And that resulted in a 1-on-1 with Cooper Kupp and a safety.
You know what's interesting about that play too is that Cooper Kupp wasn't actually supposed to get the ball. It was one of those weird plays, I forget what they call it, where you send your receiver deep just to basically draw the safety, and then you do 2 out routes on the right. So that was the play. Cooper Kupp was just a decoy, but they just botched it. And Stafford, I give him all the credit for noticing, got him alone on a safety. Like, you just can't let that happen. Like,
yeah, I really don't know what he was thinking there.
Just play back at least. And like Alex was saying, if he's kicking short, make him kick another long field goal. But I will concede that Todd Bowles is Todd Bowles, and he will always blitz and do that, which I think Alex is right about. It's just who he is.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, when it comes to playoff football and you have to consider matchups, Matt Stafford, I think there's a stat out there, graded number 1 against the blitz. That's when you got to adjust, you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And,
I will say, I really like this Rams team. I got them going all the way this year. I think they're complete. It's just
let's segue into this. Let's talk about Rams Niners this Sunday. Who we got? Who do we think is going to win? And currently, I think the Rams are favored by 3.5.
So I'll say the Rams are a better team. They should win this game on both sides of the football. But it's a terrible matchup on paper, because what the Niners do best is run the ball, kill the clock, don't turn the ball over, play good defense. And that's exactly the type of formula you need to play against the Rams. Not only that, the Niners don't make mistakes. That's something a well-coached team does. They don't really make mistakes. Jimmy G might here and there, but they don't really make mistakes. My concern with the Rams is I think they'll win this game, but they can't make mistakes. And it's really going to come down to McVay, because McVay is 0-6 against Kyle Shanahan. Like, he cannot beat this guy for his life. And I talked about the Rams laying eggs. Yeah. I would not be surprised they lay an egg in this game, just like similar to a special teams play like the Packers did, and the Niners snake through them. It could happen, but as a betting man, I think the Rams will win this one.
Yeah, I do too. I think the Rams are going to win this, but again, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners won this thing, because like Shanahan has beaten McVay with like CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins before. So like, like it's like the Niners have had the Rams number for a while. If Jimmy G can make timely throws, like great plays in like certain in certain instances, the Niners have a real shot because if their defense play like the way they did last week, they can hold this Rams team to maybe under 20-25 points. So I think there's a serious shot the Niners can win this, especially considering like the Niners damn near have home field advantage in this game because like this Niners fans are going to buy out pretty much SoFi Stadium. So
I heard that SoFi is giving priority to LA locals though.
Yeah.
So they're trying to.
No. They uplifted that.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be
sold
all
out Niners.
Yeah,
it's gonna be all red. So
I will say I've been to a Rams game. Rams fan base isn't quite that passionate. It's not Chargers level, but
not the same. Yeah, man, LA is always gonna be a basketball town.
Also, I will say I think this game is gonna reflect really big on McVay's legacy. I think this is the biggest game of McVay's career because if he loses this again to Kyle Shanahan and he goes 0-7, that's bad. Like that's really bad. This one, McVay's got to drop his best plays, his best game plan.
Yeah.
This is gonna reflect mostly on him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why the Niners always beat the Rams is because it's a mismatch. You know, the way the Rams play defense, they're preparing for QBs who want to throw. I think that's why they matched up so well against the Bucs because, you know, I do think Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, they really want to throw the ball, you know. This kind of defense is designed for more drop back, throw the ball stuff. Let Aaron Donald get to you. Let Von Miller get to you. Leonard Floyd, whatever. But, you know, the Niners aren't going to do that. And it's pretty clear when you do have a run game, you can run on the Rams, you know, especially if your line and everyone blocking is big. Like the Rams D line is small, you know, they beat you with speed. They don't really beat you with strength.
Well, Aaron Donald
is, you know, he's a defensive tackle that's 285, you know. Vita Vea plays the same position, he's 350.
But yeah, Vaughn's speed off the line, like he makes Leonard Floyd look what's the word? Slow. Like
yeah. I
mean, but that's Von Miller.
Yeah.
First ballot Hall of Fame Von Miller. So it's like,
and he's getting single coverage now. I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of the Tampa game, they started chipping him. Gronk had to go out every play and just shove Vaughn.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that with Kyle Shanahan too, right off the game.
I mean, you know, the only way I see the Rams winning this game is stopping the run. You know, when you turn Jimmy G into a drop back quarterback, that's when the 49ers start collapsing, you know. And I think that's pretty obvious, but you know, I think the game plan for this week for the Rams just has to be stop the run.
Yeah, but they also need a great game out of Stafford. Like
they do.
Oh yeah.
No mistake.
I think Stafford will have a good game as long as the O-line was as good as last week's, you know. And I do think it's not unreasonable considering they played pretty well against that Tampa D line.
Yeah. And we also got to understand like the run game will be better this week because, you know, the Buccaneers run defense is ridiculous and you just can't run. You can't run the ball against the Buccaneers. So, you know, the run game will obviously help Stafford out. At least I hope this game. So
I think as long as Stafford gets pass protection, like I think they'll be fine. Receivers will get open. Is Josh Norman still on the team? Is that their best corner right now? Like they don't really have anyone.
Like they will have a like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
As long as the pass protection is there. It's really, I think it's going to go down to the D line, you know, and O line for both teams.
Always does. If I'm a coach, I'm writing no mistakes across the board. I think that's the key to this game. It's going to come down to the Rams laying eggs, like when it gets to that third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We'll see. I got the Niners winning, actually. And
bro, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a mismatch. And the Rams' talent just doesn't affect the Niners as much as it does other teams. Yeah,
from the Rams.
I mean, I watched Week 18, and I'm a Rams fan. I'm saying this, but we were up 17-0, and the pass rush really started to get to us, and we couldn't really stop the run at all. And they're just going to keep running, even if they're down 17-0, they keep running the ball. They're not dropping back.
I am concerned about the Niners' health, though, because Debo and Kittle went out of the game, and they looked a little bit banged up, per se, because Debo is really pushing through it. So that's a big factor.
Yeah, that's a big factor, too. I'm just assuming Debo and Kittle will be fine. But, if Debo and Kittle aren't the same, then obviously that changes things.
Yeah. All right, so final say, who we got winning the game?
I'll go 49ers 24-17.
I'll go Rams 27-24-ish.
I got Rams 23-20 over the Niners.
All close games.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think we all know it's going to be close. It's just, I think Matt said it the best. Mistakes.
Eggs.
Laying eggs, yeah.
Okay. It just seems like it's got to be the Rams' year, though, in my opinion, though.
It has to
think? They pretty much gave up all their draft picks, gave up everything.
Yeah.
Just to win it this year and probably next year. Like, this is like a 2-year window for the Rams.
No, 1 year window.
I think they got 1 more year next year.
Vaughn and Odell they're on 1 year. And then when this man comes to Denver, like, everyone's gonna start rebuilding because there's no point. So you basically got 1 year. This is it.
I do think the Rams' best chances now, for sure.
100%.
Yeah, true. Who you gotta beat? Like the Bengals and the Niners? Come on. I'm not gonna say the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs.
All right. Let's talk about the Chiefs now. Let's go to the AFC.
Oh,
Chiefs,
my
Bills.
second least favorite sports franchise of all time.
Chiefs, Bills. What a game! I think this was probably the greatest divisional game in NFL history.
I can't get over it.
Wow. We thought, Niners Packers was crazy. Then it was Rams Bucks. And then we ended the weekend with Chiefs Bills. And my first thing with this, it for the most part, it was Mahomes versus Allen. I feel like most of the time, like media members often make the football team just basically this QB versus this QB. But in this case, I think it's pretty accurate. It was a Mahomes versus Allen sort of game, and it was just who can make the big plays. Tyreek ran for a 64-yarder in the last minute of the game, Travis Kelce had that huge reception to set up the field goal to win the game or to tie the game. Sorry.
Yeah, the posts.
Yeah, when there's 13 seconds left. But man, that was a game there. And yeah.
I mean, what's there to say? This is what the NFL wants. Like, I really believe that this is what we just witnessed is like the true next generation of quarterbacks. You can talk about like Herbert or Burrow if you want, but these two guys are transcendent talents. And this is what the NFL wanted. They made the rules so offensive based that like it's hard to play defense. And there's always been times when we've had revolutionary quarterbacks coming up. You had Peyton and Brady, and even before that you had Elway Favre, where they started to get more athletic, and then now we have this, and we really saw that showcase. What was it? I think it was 188 yards by Mahomes inside of 2 minutes, 4 touchdowns. There was no defense.
Unbelievable.
There's nothing you could have saw. And what we witnessed was like pure greatness. It was really heartbreaking for the Bills, especially with the overtime rule. We'll see how you guys feel about that. But I guess my key takeaway is Josh Allen and Mahomes are going to be around for a while. And Bills Mafia, keep your head up high. You'll be there again.
Yeah. Will they, though?
The Bills?
They really need to improve their roster, though, at least for receiver.
I think, like, now there's so many top elite quarterbacks in the court, like, quarterbacks, in the AFC that like it's gonna be tough to have like these chances. Like this was like I felt like if the Bills won this game, there was a pretty good like if they just shut the Chiefs down for 13 seconds, I think there's a good shot that the Bills could have won the Super Bowl.
Definitely.
And chances like this don't show up that many times, especially in a conference where there's so many upcoming quarterbacks. Like next year when like the Chargers, possibly Rodgers in the AFC, like there's just like not many chances. And like I like when the Bills went up 3, I thought it was like, yeah, the Bills are here, but you saw it like you just can't sell the game like that. Like 13 seconds, bro. You're gonna let Travis Kelce go down the field and get them in field range? Like, come on, man. Like
that was terrible coverage. Even the Tyreek route too. It was the exact play.
Yeah, it's the same post route.
13 seconds. Like that's just. I just that defense was demoralized. Like we watched it. I don't know if the first drive. I think Mahomes had 50 yards rushing. Like it wasn't designed. He was just they couldn't get him down the whole game. Like that was just an absolute clinic by Mahomes.
But at the same time, defense are built around game plans, and Mahomes and Allen always breaks them.
Yeah.
So, the defense did suck for both teams, but
it was expected. It was kind of expected. That's with that quarterback play, it's expected. They're not going against like immobile Big Ben. So
exactly.
Also, I do think the Bills receiving core is actually pretty solid, even though I think you did diss it earlier. I think Stephon, was it Gabriel Davis with the 4 touchdowns?
No, like Gabriel Davis is no scrub, He's a solid 2, But the thing is, I don't think that's good enough.
No, it is.
When you see the type of receiving core there is in the AFC right now, it's just not enough to me. No.
Come on, bro. Are you serious?
Gabriel Davis?
Too.
Dude, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
More than enough.
They have 4.
We're talking about let's see the Bengals receivers. That's definitely better than the Bills receiving core.
Bro, no, I take the Bills, dude. The Bills receiving core. They're close. Like they also got Cole Beasley in the slot, and
Sanders too,
and Emmanuel Sanders. Stephon Diggs, in my opinion, is a top 5 receiver in the league. And I think the receiving core is more than enough. I totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
The Bills.
No. When you see the receivers that are the receiving cores in the NFL right now, I just think Josh Allen needs more.
That's like a top 7 or 8 receiving core in the league.
Definitely, without a doubt. Because you got
bro.
You're looking at Diggs at the 1, Gabriel Davis, who completely just proved himself, so we don't have to talk about him. And then you got Sanders and
my thing with Davis,
Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers in the league.
Yeah, it's extremely competent. And who's their tight end?
Dawson Knox is solid.
Yeah, that's 5 guys who you can trust.
No, man. Like, you see the Bengals receivers, you see the Chargers receivers.
I'm taking the Bills over the Chargers receivers. Are we serious?
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Probably I'll take them over the Chargers and probably Cincinnati as well right now.
It's close with Cincinnati, but like
no.
The Chargers receivers are not better than the Bills.
No, they are.
All they have
not even close.
They're just big guys. Like they have like 4 big guys. There's no versatility.
No, there is versatility. Keenan Allen is as versatile as it gets, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah, but then you go Mike Williams, Jordan Palmer, who's the
Mike Williams, your contested catch guy,
and
right?
Guyton's
they have
all the same player, bro.
No. Okay. I think Keenan Allen is a special receiver.
No, he's not special.
He's
a pretty good one, but I wouldn't say he's special.
He's not like a Stephon.
He's not Stephon Diggs.
Jamar Chase level.
I don't know, man. I do think Diggs is slightly overrated.
I don't. I think he's one of the most elite route runners in the league. He's probably one of the best separators in the league. So I think Diggs is in that top 5 conversation. I think he's easily better than Keenan Allen.
Same.
And
I would say he's better than Keenan Allen, but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see Diggs as big of a game changer as Tyreek,
Well,
Uh,
well, all with receivers, it's also hard to argue because you also got to consider what type of offenses and what type of offensive like what you ask them to do because like some receivers just like wouldn't fit on certain teams. Like if you threw Cooper Cup like on like let's say the Titans and had him play outside, he probably wouldn't even be a top 15 receiver. So it's also dependent on like what type of offense and what you have them like what routes you have them running. I'm just saying if you put Stephon Diggs on any team, he'll get open on any team and he'd work on any offense. And that's mainly because
that one down
he's one of
year.
the best separators in the league.
Yeah. I'm not arguing that he's not one of the best in the league. I'm just saying, I don't know. I just don't see him as much of a game changer as the top 3, or maybe top, like if I could think of 4 receivers potentially better than Stephon Diggs right now, that I just feel are a tier above it.
I think the only argument is probably Adams and Hill.
No Debo?
No shot. No
really?
Shot. No shot.
Yeah, it's hard because like we also have to acknowledge that like Diggs was getting extreme double coverage the whole year. So a lot of the younger players weren't. So it's a little bit hard to like put the newer guys.
I'm not really talking. I'm just talking about their game more than their production.
Yeah. Well, then I'd say right now it's definitely Stephon over Debo.
Yeah, Debo is a great fit for the Niners, but I don't think he would be as dominant if you just put him on like any other offense like that. I'm not saying he wouldn't be productive, but he'd be productive. But I would just say he wouldn't. He really fits that Niners offense. So,
that's fair. But I don't know. Like, I understand there's a factor of fit because obviously I don't think Debo's strength is catching it on the outside or anything like that, contested catch. But considering what Debo can do after the catch and just as a running back, basically, I just think what he brings to the table is just more than what Stephon Diggs can.
I mean, I think we got to go with what Alex says on that though, because scheme, like your offensive scheme, really matters when it comes to someone like Debo. Because like it's kind of hard to compare it from.
I mean, it's not like he's a horrible route runner either. He's not like Cordero Patterson.
No, but like I don't want to say he's a product of Kyle Shanahan, but he also kind of is because he's the perfect player for Kyle Shanahan. Like Debo played running back at the end of the game. Like he just took it out of the backfield. It wasn't like a jet sweep or anything. It was a direct snap.
And I just, I don't know if Stephon Diggs, Debo is specialized in that sort of role, but don't like just giving the ball off to someone like that on 3rd and 7, getting the first down, that's game changing,
It is, but on like, we're just going off who's the top pure receivers in the league. I don't think Debo's quite there because he's just not. You can't just line about. You just can't. He just wouldn't work on every team in the league. Not saying you should or like that makes you a top receiver, but I don't know. It's just hard to explain. Like he's elite at his role in a sense, but I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough to judge receivers because of a lot of things playing a factor, like your QB play, your offensive scheme, and opportunity, stuff like that. So it's just hard to judge, but I still think Diggs is in that top receiver, and like the Bills have a really good receiving corps.
Definitely good enough to win a championship. So
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
All right. You want to move on to the last game?
Yeah. Let's talk about the one that honestly no one watched. Bengals Titans.
Man.
I feel like this game really showed the value of the running back, personally.
It's debatable.
I mean, Derrick Henry is coming off a fractured, I think he fractured his foot or something.
What do you want? Derrick Henry was a non-factor in the game. Like he didn't get enough touches, and he didn't look healthy.
Yeah, but him being there opened up, like, the Bengals defense had to, like, prepare for Derrick Henry, and it helped Tannehill, even though Tannehill's still garbage. Like, it still helped having Derrick Henry out there because he was drawing a lot of attention. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just didn't think Derrick Henry, like you said earlier, I think Matt said earlier, he wasn't really much of a factor, and we saw his backup. I forgot his name. He looks like him though, low key. Blow up. He exploded for like a 50-yard game.
Yeah, Foreman.
Yeah.
Deontay Foreman.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's an example of, a strong running game isn't necessarily about how good your running back is. It's just scheme, O-line, and just, everyone blocking.
I mean, to an extent. I mean, I think it's possible. Like, I think it's possible still. I mean, with like, what was it, 2 years ago with the Titans, or was it last year? When they went to it was 2 years ago.
I think it's 2 years
when they went to the AFC Championship with Derrick Henry leading the way. Like, it's possible. Because I remember they lost to Brady and Belichick in the AFC Championship. That was the year.
No. They beat the Patriots.
I thought they lost to the Chiefs.
They lost.
They lost to the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
They beat. Yeah, I meant that. They beat the Patriots. That's what I meant. They beat the Patriots in Brady's last year in New England. Yeah, I'm tripping.
They beat Baltimore, I think.
Yeah. So, like, I do think it's possible, but like, it just takes a lot for that to happen if you want to, like, win. And, like, to be honest, like, Derrick Henry is, like, special. Like, the chances you find like a Derrick Henry is like almost never. So I do think it's possible, but it's with like a few running backs. Like, it's got to be like a Derrick Henry type where, like, he's really actually carrying your offense.
It's just the running game. Isaac, you hit it on the head. The running game in today's NFL is just not what it used to be. It used to be all about running backs with decent receivers. Now it's elite receivers with running backs. And when the rookie contract's over, dump them.
I think another example of that is the Chiefs. They spent a first-round pick on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They, he got hurt. They picked up a guy named, what's his name, Jerick McKinnon?
Yeah.
Just for free. And
you
can argue that he's better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a different situation. I'm just saying, like, you can build your team that's a run off. Like, you can build your team with a Derrick Henry, and it can be, like, I think, a Super Bowl contender. If you build around defense, get good QB play, and have an elite defense, it's possible. I think it's possible.
There's a formula for it. It's
just
hard. It's much more difficult.
You got to find a transcendent running back. And when you have that running back, you need a game manager QB and like a top 10 defense. And, like, I guess the Panthers tried doing it with C-Mac. The Colts are trying to do it with Jonathan Taylor. Let me think. You have the Rams with Gurley when Gurley was elite, and you had Goff just managing. They went to a Super Bowl. You got
with the Seahawks, like years ago when Russell Wilson was a rookie. Yeah. That is like the prototypical way how you win it with Marshawn, the Legion of Boom, and Russell Wilson, who wasn't elite back then because it was his rookie year. And it's possible. I'm just saying, it's just, you need to draft well, you need to do everything well, and you probably need a quarterback on a rookie contract that is a good game manager.
Yeah.
And the thinking too is that a team like that supposedly matches up well against the throwing teams because you keep them off the field. But what all those teams had in common was a transcendent running back. This isn't just any running back. We said Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Marshawn, C-Mac, prime Gurley, even prime Zeke when Dak was young. You got to have that guy if you're gonna go that way.
Yeah.
And the shelf life for that formula is not that long either, because these running backs burn out in 2, 3, 4 years, and then you got to pay them. And then do you want to pay a running back, an aging running back, that contract? It's a tough decision.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also, I thought this game exposed Ryan Tannehill, man. he looked awful for the most part.
They lost the game because he had 3 interceptions. That's the only way you can look at it. At the end of the game, I thought they were going to get in field goal range and pull it out through a pick. You say it's not his fault. I would have thrown the ball lower. Not that I could, but I would have thrown the ball lower.
Yeah.
But still.
The only pick that I would sort of give him a pass on is the Mike Hilton one when he read the screen. That was more of an amazing defensive play. But man, like, dude, when you have AJ Brown and Julio, that kind of receiving core, and you put up 16 points against the Bengals, and like the Bengals aren't like a scrub defense, like they're not bad on defense.
Top 4 against the run.
Yeah, but man, you got to do better than that, you know.
Yeah. And you know what? Joe Burrow has been phenomenal. He's playing like an underdog.
Yeah, let's talk about the Bengals now. Man.
No O-line, and Burrow's getting it done. He's incredible. Better than Justin Herbert, in my opinion.
That's debatable.
It's close. It's
debatable.
It's close, but I'm giving it to Burrow. I also am biased against the Chargers. But...
Man, Burrow is a special player. No doubt about it. And I think people, like when he got hurt last year, like people were saying that Herbert was better. I think, you know, people like really forgot how good Joe Burrow is, especially because of how trash the team was last year. But wow, just by drafting a guy like Jamar Chase, the team is just turned around, you know. And obviously they got like Trey Hendrickson to help their pass rush. I'm actually surprised by that. I thought Hendrickson had a fluky year last year, but turned out to be
great.
Yeah, he's been great.
I don't know. I think the Bengals, they're going to start. It's looking rough for the AFC North, especially my Steelers. Like, this Bengals team is just going to get better. It's really young. And, like, the crazy thing is this is Burrow's first year off an ACL tear, and he's already doing this. It's like, you know.
Without an O-line.
What's going to happen in, like, 2 years when the O-line's better, he's more healthy, you know. Chase and Higgins are going to get better, of course. You know, it's going to be scary. And the Bengals are going to be a perennial contender every year as long as Burrow's healthy, you know?
Yeah. Wait, would you want to tank the season, Alex, if you're the Steelers?
I mean, not necessarily tank. I mean, ideally, I don't want to draft a quarterback this year and draft a quarterback next year when there's a bunch of quarterback talent like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. Like, I would much rather draft a quarterback next year down the line, but I don't think we're going to do that. The Steelers are just in a weird spot. Like, so there's just a lot of things we got to rebuild, and we need that quarterback. I mean, I'm not too worried, because like I think the Browns and the Ravens have like serious issues too, but in terms of like contending, the Steelers are probably not doing jack until we ever find a solid quarterback, which might take a while.
You don't think the Steelers will make a run in free agency at like a Wilson or Deshaun, or maybe even like a Jimmy G or something? Because honestly, if you got a QB like Jimmy G, I could see the Steelers making a run next year.
No.
I don't think we'd do anything with Jimmy G. And I don't think the Steelers would go after like a Wilson or Rodgers, because they've never done that before. They've always, you know, drafted and developed the quarterback. And we still have to rebuild the roster, and to give up multiple first round picks. I would personally do that, but I don't think we're going to do that. But, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tomlin would want to go that way.
Yeah, man. He's only known for his never losing career, whatever, record-wise.
Losing record, yeah.
No, I'm just playing. Legendary coach. But, I think we can say that the Bengals are up and coming. You know, carried by I mean, mostly carried by, I won't say the defense is trash, but mostly carried by Burrow and the offense.
The defense is definitely competent.
Yeah, no question. But, they wouldn't be where they are without the offense,
All right. Let's get to the AFC prediction.
Yeah, I mean, without hesitation, I'm just going to take the Chiefs. Everything that the Chiefs do, I just think they do better than the Bengals. Or everything that the Bengals do, I just feel that the Chiefs do better. Like I said before, they're up and coming. Jamar Chase is a special player. T. Higgins is also a great player. We know Joe Burrow. We know this offense and what they're capable of. But, at the end of the day, I really can't see Patrick Mahomes getting outplayed right now by current Joe Burrow, as great as he is. I'm taking the Chiefs, and I don't know what the spread is, but I'll probably take them to cover too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for the Bengals to win this. The Chiefs been there the past 2 years, 3 years actually. They know the deal. It's pretty much everyone on the Bengals' first time. It's going to be tough to beat Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead, and it's your first time. On
top of that, like the Chiefs' pass rush is not bad, and
yeah.
Considering that the Bengals O-line, I think Burrow's gonna have a rough day, sack-wise, too.
Yeah, he's gonna have to hold the ball a lot. Listen, I think it's a blowout. I don't think it's close at all. It's like you said, everything the Bengals are, the Chiefs do better. I also do think the Bengals are a little bit fraudulent. Going past the Raiders, the Raiders had to play the Chargers in that crazy game. Then they had to go on the road, and then
I'm telling you though, if the Chargers got in instead of the Raiders, I think the Chargers would be here right now.
All right, stop that funny business. Herbert played 17 games and they make the playoffs.
Like you're telling me they're like more than capable of beating the Bengals, and then you're telling me that they can't beat the Titans, bro?
No,
there's a shot the Chargers could be here. There's a shot,
but the Chargers are honestly, I think they're the biggest chokers in the league, especially this season, because they just lay eggs all the time. I made fun of the Rams,
but none of it's on Herbert,
eggs.
Though.
They just
Herbert didn't lay any eggs.
They're too aggressive with the fourth down crap. They should have beat the Chiefs on when they played the Chiefs. They should have won. And they just shot themselves in the foot by not taking.
It's not Herbert's fault. None of it's Herbert's fault.
No, it definitely. That's what I'm saying. If you look at the Chargers, to have an elite Q quarterback, I'm calling him elite, play 17 games and miss the playoffs, you could not have that happen. So I'm blaming Staley for all of this. I know he's
also that defense is very questionable.
Yes.
With that kind of talent, it should be a lot better.
And we do got to talk about, when Denver was healthy, Herbert, 2 interceptions, 200 yards, terrible game. Yeah. But that's just, and there was what else? It was the Texans game. There was a few others. Yeah. I could never see a scenario in which the Chargers would string together 4 playoff games in a row where they didn't have a blown game. Yeah, they could grow for sure. But anyways, I think it's a blowout. I don't think the Bengals have a chance.
I won't say blowout. I don't think the Chargers are. The Chiefs are so ahead of the Bengals to the point where it's not even a competition.
I actually think it's not even a competition. I'd even go that far. I think it's going to be ugly.
I don't think so. I think it'll be a 1-score game for the most part.
I think Bro needs a special game, to keep him in the game. Bro needs to be special. We need an all-time performance for it to be, competitive at the end at least,
But you're telling you were talking about how young the team is. You're sending that team who's never been here into Arrowhead against a team who's done it, going to be the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, it's tough, but there's something about Burrow, bro.
Burrow has that it factor, man. Yeah. It's it's not something you can't really prove, but I guess it's just the way he carries himself.
He's I don't know, his confidence, his leadership.
I think he sees himself as he sees his team and himself as the team that should win, and that's rare. define.
I'd say the only thing the Bengals have going for them is they have nothing to lose. And that's why they're here. They went against the Titans. No one thought they'd win. And Burrow said it. He's like, he just had the swag. So, I mean, they're going to walk into Arrowhead with nothing to lose. So, I guess if Burrow has a special game, like Alex said, with that mentality, they might be in it. But I don't think they can do it within 10.
I think they will. And by the way, the Chiefs are 7.5 favorites. I would actually not. I would bank on the Bengals, actually, to be honest. I think it's going to be a close game. Semi-close. I just think, we see how good the Chiefs can be. Like against the Bills in the Bills game, Tyreek just ran for a 64-yard touchdown, like out of nowhere.
Yeah, but like also like the Chiefs this year have like in a lot of games they've started slow. So if they have one of those slow starts again, like even against the Steelers, they started off slow. So if they have one of those,
yeah,
slow
I'm not gonna lie. When I watched
Bengals
that
get
game,
ahead.
When I watched that game, bro, I thought the Steelers had a chance when TJ Watt scored.
I was like, it went from like 0% chance to like 5% chance. Like
Big Ben's interview was the best. He's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't even play. It's no point.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear the final score prediction.
I'll go. I think this is going to be really high scoring. I'll go 36-30 Chiefs.
I'll go 30-20 Chiefs.
Sounds good. I'll go 31-17 Chiefs.
Damn, that's tough. Well, I think today we went over the divisional round and we gave our predictions for the conference championships coming up next week. And we hope to continue doing these podcasts every Wednesday at 5 and keep uploading them. Like I mentioned in the beginning, for now we'll be talking about football because of it being football season, but eventually we'll also be talking about the NBA and where it's heading right now. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for listening. And we brought in a new co-host, Alex. So yeah, expect him to be here. Thanks for listening, and we hope you had fun.